Welcome to another episode of Battle Axe, coming to you as always from the Bustin' Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque. I'm Joey Danya alongside Bobby Bradford. It is week number 3 of a 7-week regular season, and it all leads up to a double elimination postseason tournament where we will crown a Battle Axe champion. If you're new to the program, let's go over to the rules. The 1 ring, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then the bullseye is worth 6 points. Those red dots on the 3 ring are also bullseyes. Those are worth 6 as well. If you hit the center bullseye, you can no longer score 6 points on it in the first half of a match. You have to go outside if you want to get 6 points to get one of those bullseyes to get the 6. And then the blue dots on the outwardmost ring are what's called the kill shot. A player can go for it at any point during a match. If they hit it, they get 8 points. But if they miss, they get nothing, Bobby. High risk, high reward.
Absolutely. We've seen a lot of competitors start to be more adventurous and go for those kill shots in this league so far. So it should shape up to be a very exciting postseason tournament.
Hard to believe it is season number 11 of Battle Axe. Here is what everyone's playing for once again this season, Bobby.
Absolutely. Here's the cup that everyone will be playing for. The winner of the Week 8 double elimination tournament will get to take this baby home. And as we've seen already, Joey, we've seen a lot of competitors have a new strategy for this season. You know, they're starting to go for those outside bullseyes and then going for those kill shots as well. So the records may not reflect, how good these competitors are, but everyone's still kind of figuring out what their tactic is going to be and starting to get everything figured out.
Let's take a look at the standings after 2 weeks of competition. Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw leading the way, 8-0, averaging 55.4 points per game.
Yeah, Matt is definitely figuring it out. Obviously, he's number 1 here in the rankings, and then followed by Leroy Kedley, though, at an impressive 7-1. Michelle Fremelt, Ann Welp, Justin Smith, Gina Feenstra, Jill Kedley, Eric Shizzle, Nancy Kramer, and Beth Jen round out the top 10. And as you can see there, Beth Jen in the 10th spot. She is also one of those people that is starting to get adventurous and go for those outside bullseyes.
Yeah, and the outside bullseyes have really narrowed the gap between the very best of the best, the Matt Bradshaws of the world, and the rest of the field. It makes for some very compelling matchups. Jill Kedley will be our first competitor here today, and she will be taking on Michelle Fremelt.
Number 1.
Yeah, so Jill coming in at 5-3, Michelle at 4-4. So middle of the pack competitors here, but all of them working on progressing their game, Joey, from eliminating those drops to start to live in that 4, 5, and 6 ring. And possibly get adventurous and go for those outer bullseyes as well.
Fremelt third on the leaderboard in points per game, and that is what will set the postseason bracket at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think that's why we're seeing competitors go for those outside bullseyes, because the win-loss record they're not really concerned about because they've been through a couple tournaments already. They really want to rack up as many points as possible. And so going for those outside bullseyes is paramount.
And no doubt they want to get those outside bullseyes in their arsenal. They want to get comfortable getting uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Because we know that comes tournament time, you're going to go up against a competitor that's maybe a little more comfortable than you are going for those outside bullseyes. And you'd like to get a few under your belt before you get under the bright lights of the Week 8 double elimination tournament.
Well, a nice throw there from Fremelt. It's a 5. We are all tied up at 13 after the first 3 throws.
We've seen Jill be very aggressive with those kill shots and actually come out the victor in a couple games because of that kill shot. So in a tight match like this, we'll see if she gets adventurous and stays aggressive. But both competitors are doing a nice job of keeping this thing close and battling back and forth.
Michelle Fremelt with another great throw and a nice response there from Jill.
6-5.
And Matt's going to get a closer look, and he rules that it is a 6 there, so blade popping through in the bottom part of that axe.
At the turn, we are tied at 22.
Well, how about that? After the first half of this one, we are all tied up at 22. Fremelt and Kedley switch sides, and the second half will decide this one.
Yeah, just a tremendous matchup so far. It looks like that could be a 5 if it's popping through in the top part of the blade, but we see there from the action cam that is a 4 there for Michelle. Still all tied up, going into the 7th throw.
And Michelle really stuck in the vortex right now. She has peppered in a couple of 5s. Going to come down to who can get inside of that 5 ring and maybe get a couple of bullseyes along the way as well.
Looks like Jill might have that if it's popping through on the right-hand side of her blade.
You know what?
And as we've said, though, before in matches past, Joey, not all 4s are the same. Michelle, those 4s that she's had, those are very close to being 5s, and we know what 5s can lead to.
Yeah, she's been throwing well here today, as she has been throughout the season thus far.
And it is ruled a 6 there for Jill, so she is able to get 2 points on Michelle going into the 8th row, which 2 points now seems like a pretty big lead.
That is 2 bullseyes in her last 3 throws for Jill Kedley.
Nice.
She's heating up at the right time. Great throw there from Frummelt. That might be a bullseye. It looks like a flush bullseye.
6-3.
It does, and then Jill getting aggressive going for that outside bullseye, but she is off
All
the
right, this
mark
is
with
throw
a
number
3. So
9.
quickly,
Michelle is
Michelle
up
Fremmel
1.
overtakes the lead here, 36-35 going into the 9th throw.
Yeah, she turned a 2-point deficit into a 1-point advantage. Big time throw from Frummelt, but now an opportunity for Kedley to get right back in it.
4-3.
I love it, though. Michelle's going for that outside bullseye as well. Able to get an extra
All right,
point
we're at
there
throw number
on
10. Michelle is up
Jill
2,
Kedley.
40-38.
38-40 going into the 10th throw.
We'll see
Skill
how
shot called
aggressive
on the right.
Frummelt and Kedley get here on the final throw. Frummelt could really use a bullseye. You'd assume she's going for it.
And it looks like Jill Kedley is going to be going for the kill shot there on the 10th throw. So looks like a 4 there.
4 and a
Just off the
miss.
mark there for Jill Kedley.
Well, a risky move
Nice
by
match, ladies.
Kedley, and it
44-38.
gives Frummelt the win, 44-38, the final.
Well, she's the aggressor. She wasn't going to rely on Michelle to make a mistake. She knew if Michelle threw a bullseye that she had to throw a kill shot there. So good job for Jill Kedley to be aggressive, go for that kill shot. She was off the mark just by a little bit, but as we were saying earlier in the match, Joey, it's really good to have those throws under your belt come tournament time because we know that kill shots can really determine a champion. And then for Michelle, she improves her record to 5-4, a really consistent round. No drops from her, and the axe hitting really flush on the board. A little too many 4s, I bet, for her, but she did have that really nice 6 there on the 8th throw, so hopefully a little more of those to come in the future.
And that decision to go for the kill shot shows you the kind of respect that
Correct.
Kedley has for Frummelt. She knows that Michelle's more than likely going to throw a 4 or better anyways.
Exactly.
Justin Smith, our next competitor, he will be taking on Eric the Scope Shizzle.
Yeah, so as fans will remember, Eric
All right,
coming
gents,
into the
here we go.
season
Throw
had
one.
elbow surgery, so
Do
he
it.
is going to be throwing left-handed all season long, coming in at 2-6, figuring out the throw, and Justin with a nice record of 5-3, really coming out the gate hot as a new
5-6.
thrower, finding that 4, 5, and 6 ring pretty consistently.
Great start for Eric the Scope, a bullseye to take an early 1-point advantage over
right, throw
Justin
2.
Smith.
Yeah, and we've seen Eric throw with his left hand before. He's very good, ambidextrous. So it's just all about consistently finding that release point.
Yeah, it's impressive just how good he is with his non-dominant hand. It's hard
Ooh.
enough to play this game
Right.
with your dominant hand, and
Exactly.
the Scope makes it look easy with both.
5-6.
Yeah, he's going for another bullseye there. So a couple bullseyes out the gate here for Eric the Scope and a chance for what we dare not speak.
Throw number 3.
Back-to-back
Eric up
bullseyes.
2.
What a start here for Eric the Scope Shizzle.
Well, and these are the kind of high-pressure matchups that Justin Smith, really needs as a competitor. We always talk about being the aggressor, keeping that pedal to the metal. There's a nice response there. Looks like that's at least a 5, possibly a bullseye. And we'll see Eric is off the mark there for
6-3.
his unicorn.
Yeah, these are the types of matches that you'll see in the postseason,
Correct. Throw
and
number
getting
4,
that kind of
Justin up 1.
experience here in the regular season can pay big dividends when you get to the high pressure of that postseason.
Absolutely. And Justin doing a really nice job of living in that 5 and 6 ring. Looks like another nice throw there. Not adventuring out into those outside bullseyes, so maybe a part of the game that
5-6.
Justin wants to start working on here. But Eric getting very comfortable with those outer bullseyes and
5,
ties
all
this
tied
thing
up.
up 21-21 going into the 5th throw.
A very impressive start here from Smith and Shizzle, 21 all after 4 throws.
And no, we've talked about the strategy too of like staying inside that 5 and 6 ring after you hit the bullseye, and then the middle bullseye becomes
4,
only a
4.
5. It's really determined by game script, where if you're in a close match
right,
like
at the
this,
turn,
for
we are
Justin,
all
it's
knotted
almost
up
to
at
his advantage to
25.
kind of stick in that 5 and 6 ring and kind of let Eric make his mistakes. But when Eric's throwing like he is, he's not. He's going to really create some
Throw
separation.
6. Here we go.
25 all heading into the second half between Shizzle and Smith.
Another nice throw there. Could be a bullseye if it's popping through in the bottom part of the blade there for
5-6.
Justin and ruled a bullseye. So able to get a 1-point lead going into the 7th throw.
Throw number 7.
So
Justin
Smith
up 1.
can no longer score 6 points on the center bullseye for the rest of the match. We'll see the strategy he takes here as he looks to get a win over Eric the Scope with a 1-point lead and 4 throws to go.
Well, through his first 5, he was sticking to the middle of the board. Looks like he's continuing to do that as well. And
Ooh,
Eric
Smith
is
got
off
that
the mark.
lane.
He indicates that it's a 4, hoping that's going to be a 5, though.
Let me check yours there, Justin.
So Matt the Magic Man going to get another look here at Justin Smith's axe. See if the bottom of that blade is into the 5 ring.
4-4.
Ooh, and a couple fours. So I thought from the action cam there that kind of was popping through on the 5
right, this
ring,
is
but Matt got a closer
Throw
look.
number 8, Justin up 1.
That was very close of Joey.
That's about as close as it can get. Battle Axe sometimes can be a game of centimeters. So still a 1-point lead for Smith. And when you've got a 1-point lead, there's no need really to get too adventurous. He can be pretty content with just playing the middle of that board until Eric the Scope makes him do otherwise.
Well, and as we've seen from his first, 8 throws here in this matchup, he's been really consistent with that 5 and 6 ring. So when you're throwing like that,
All right, this is throw
don't
number
screw
9.
it up. You're
Justin
up by 1,
1.
going into the
40,
9th throw, and
39.
Eric with the
Kill shot
surprise
call on
kill
the
shot
left.
call.
Well, this is fun to see. Eric the Scope only down by 1, getting very aggressive here. He's going to go for the kill shot.
Well, he wants to put some pressure on Justin, and it looks like he might have got to him a little bit. Looks like that's going to be a 3 there or 4 there for Justin Smith, and Eric is off the
4.
mark for his kill shot. You can see he's confused as to.
That was just a bit outside there, brother.
Yeah, Eric the Scope shaking his head
All right, this
well
is
off
throw
his mark there.
10, Justin
And he was kind of
5. Kill
centering
shot
up,
called on the
seeing,
left.
did I throw it exactly where I wanted to?
Correct.
Now he's going to go right
Dial it
again.
in.
If he can get this one, he's going to put himself in position to have a shot.
Yeah, he needs Justin to make a mistake here. We'll see. And Justin, it looks like he threw a
That should
4.
do it.
Ooh,
There it
and
is. Hit 5.
there he's better on the mark, but still comes up a little bit short here in this matchup.
So a nice way for Eric the Scope to wrap this one up, but it's Justin Smith,
Go up
the
and erase
victor,
your board there,
49 to 47.
Yeah, so Justin improves his
49,
record to
47.
63, and as we just heard there from Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw, a new career high score there for Justin Smith. So a really nice job of living in that 5 and 6 ring. You know, he only had those 3 4s on his card, and those 4s weren't that far off from being into the 5 and 6 ring. Something that he'll want to work on, though, for the remainder of the season, though, is starting to venture out into those outer bullseyes, because as we saw with Eric the Scope and how he started this matchup off, he had 3 bullseyes in his first 5 throws. He did hit that kill shot there on the 10th throw. Very aggressive. We know that's the kind of play that's going to really bring home a championship. So if Justin wants to do that, and I think he does, he's going to want to start working on those.
Love seeing Eric give Justin a high five. That's what this league is all about. The two celebrating the progression of Justin Smith. Much more Battle Axe still to come here on MC22. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Battle Axe, coming to you as always from the Bustin' Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque. I'm Joey the Jaw, alongside Bobby the Blade. It's been a great start to week number 3 here, Bobby, and we are just getting started.
Absolutely. The first 2 matches with Jill and Michelle and Justin and Eric were absolutely fantastic, and looking forward to the remaining matches we have here tonight.
Let's get right to it. The defending champion, Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw, he'll be taking on Beth Jen. This should be a good one.
Oh, it's always a classic matchup. We know Beth coming in at 1 and 7. She's really working on those outer bullseyes. We'll see how it's playing out here in week number 3. And we've seen the same approach here from Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw as well. Last league, he was working on just staying inside that 5 and 6 ring.
yeah.
This league,
Bullseye
though,
and
we've
bullseye.
seen him start to adventure out into those outer bullseyes and doing it with a master efficiency.
Great start here for Jen and Bradshaw. A couple of bullseyes, and now I'd expect both of them to go for those outer bullseyes.
Absolutely. It's just going to be a war of attrition. See who blinks first. See how it goes. And looks like that hit on the bottom part of the blade there for Beth Jen. And looks like it hit on the left-hand side there for Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw.
Oh, 2 bulls.
And
job,
it is
guys.
ruled 2 bullseyes. So
Oh, wait, that's. Wait,
a
are
couple
they both on the
bullseyes
same
for each
side?
competitor coming out the gate and a couple chances
Hold
for
on,
what we
let me-
dare not speak. Joey?
Perfect start here for Beth Jen and Matt Bradshaw. They've been working on this, and it's paying off here thus far today.
And we know it's about putting together those 10 throws, Joey, so it's nice to get those first 2. We'll see how she responds here. That looks like a 4 there for
3 and a
her,
ball.
and then a nice
Oh, wait,
flush
actually, is that
unicorn
a
there
4?
for Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the unicorn, so rare these days with the new format of Battle Axe. 3 straight bullseyes
Let me make
for
sure I
Matt
get
the
this
Magic
right.
Man Bradshaw. Always exciting to see a unicorn.
They are rare,
Okay,
but you know,
good.
you appreciate
Sorry.
them more when you see them. So both competitors here still going for those outside bullseyes. And Matt with 4 consecutive bullseyes to get this match started here. So,
I think you're good. Yeah.
yeah, that's you can see the popping through on the right-hand side of the blade there.
Matt Bradshaw with a perfect start. 4 consecutive bullseyes. 24-20 his advantage now over Beth Jen.
Well, we know he's one of the best in the world, Joey, and that's what he's always working on, always preaching, is the consistency of his release point. And looks like a nice bullseye there for Beth. But he is just an absolute master of perfecting his release point, perfecting his throw, and then also cheering on his opponents as well. And as we can see, Gina's getting a closer look.
4.
And ruled a 4 there for Beth, so very close. And it looks like that is a bullseye there for Matt, but Gina will get a
Did
closer
you hit this
look.
one before? Nope. It was that side, right? Okay. Ball.
Yeah, so ruled a bullseye there for Matt.
Well, a perfect first half
Oh,
for
that was
Matt
fifth
the
row.
Magic Man Bradshaw. 5 consecutive bullseyes,
Oh,
and
I'm sorry.
Beth wants another set of eyeballs on
God.
this one.
Yep, so Beth calling for a second opinion.
I'm sorry, Beth.
And it is overturned, Joey, so
That's
it
a
is
6.
ruled a
That's
6.
How do I fix this?
So a nice second call there for Beth, and she gets the call.
Remove
So
point.
3 bullseyes for her first 5 throws, and Matt, of course, with those beautiful 5
Shit,
bullseyes to
moved it
get the
from the
night
wrong
started for him.
Crap.
Yeah, how would you like to put up a round of 26 in the first half and still be trailing by 4?
Right, exactly. Well, that's what it's like going up against the Magic Man. But Beth getting the turn started off nicely with a bullseye, and it looks like the Magic Man is human. Ruled a bullseye, but I think Matt's getting a closer look and
That's a
says that's a 5. So
Well, Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw always wants to win honorably,
Yes.
and he admits that was a 5, and the perfect game is gone.
So it's a 3-point lead. Beth doing a nice job of capitalizing on Matt's mistake. And she's being aggressive, going for that outside bullseye. I think they both hit it again, Joey. We're going to get a ruling here from Gina Fincha, and there it is, bullseye, bullseye.
Yeah, Matt still can score 6 on the center bullseye, but he opted to go outside.
41-38
Throw
going into the
7.
8th throw.
No, throw 8. Throw 8.
So
41-38.
Matt's going to continue to go around the board here. You can see him get into position, and Beth is going to, looks like she's lining up for that right-hand side bullseye.
We didn't even give Beth credit for what she just did. She had a unicorn, and it went unacknowledged. So
It was a sneaky unicorn. We didn't even see it, Joey.
tip of the cap to Beth Jen. 2 unicorns here in one game. One from the Magic Man and one from Beth Jen.
We were so focused on Matt throwing that 5 there on the 6th throw. You're right. We just kind of glossed over 2 unicorns in one game, 2 champion
Throw
competitors.
9. 47-42.
You can see
Matt,
Matt, I
you're
think
up.
he's contemplating going for the kill
Kill
shot there.
shot
I think
called
he
on
just
the
called for
left.
it. So he wants to put a dagger in this one, aiming to go for that upper left-hand kill shot. And Beth electing just to play the board, and she could have hit that bullseye there on the left-hand side.
Looks like he got it just on the outside of that blue dot.
Ooh.
Yep, and
Yes.
it looks like he did.
That is in there. Good job.
So Matt hit the
That's an
bullseye or
8,
the
right?
kill shot there. We'll see if
Thank you.
Beth hit the bullseye. Gina getting a closer look here. Oh, it looks like it hit on the left-hand side, but she rules it a 3. So we'll see if Beth calls for another second here, electing to take the
All right,
3.
last throw. Matt
That
is
was
up
a big
by
call
10,
there, Joey.
55-45.
That one seals
shot
the
called
deal
on the
here. It
left.
gives Bradshaw the victory, and now it's just about trying to get as many points as possible. Bradshaw going up once again for another kill shot.
Yeah, that looks like a positive note there for Beth. Looks like that's popping through in the bottom part of the blade. Oh, there from the action cam, it's a flush bullseye. And we'll see if Matt hit his second consecutive kill shot,
Beth has a
It's gonna be
bull and a
close.
miss.
but ruled a miss. We'll see if Matt gets a closer look and wants a second. But he elects to take the 8
0?
and the victory, improving his record to 9-0. What a tremendous matchup here, Joey, by both competitors. Beth falls to 1-8, but as we just saw there with a great score of 51, she is working on those outer bullseyes, and she's making some significant progress. As you can see, there's 6 bullseyes there on that scorecard, and they only won 3, and that was very close to being a bullseye as well. So for her, she's really progressing in her technique and her strategy for this season. And then for Matt Bradshaw, he only had perfect game going into the sixth throw. Wasn't off by much on that sixth throw for that 5. Hit the kill shot in his 9th throw, and he was very, very close to hitting consecutive kill shots on the 10th throw. So we all know he's the magic man. He's a very skilled competitor, but this is a great test for Beth Jen.
Yeah, it's only week 3, and already Jen and Bradshaw look ready for the postseason. They're looking incredibly sharp, pun intended. Next up, we've got Eric the Scope Shizzle taking on Nancy Kramer.
Yeah, so Nancy coming in at 2-6, Eric at 2-7.
Looks like we got
Looks
3,
gonna be
4.
3 there for Nancy and 4 for Eric. So off the mark going for the bullseye is Eric the Scope.
Throw number 2.
And we've seen some nice progression from Nancy this season. She's eliminated some drops. The axe is hitting much more flush into the board. So it's always nice when you see the work pay off.
That's what it's all about, the
4 or 5.
progression of a thrower, and Nancy Kramer getting better each and every week. Eric
Throw
the
number
Scope
3,
looking
Eric up
to
2.
bounce back after coming up just a couple of points short earlier here today against Justin Smith.
Yeah, really just finding that consistent release point. Nice throw there by Nancy. Looks like that could be a 5, possibly a bullseye. Oh, and you can see there from the
6,
bottom
4.
part of the blade, that is popping through there for Nancy.
Nice
And I
throw,
believe it was
Nancy.
called a 4 there for Eric, but he's getting a closer look, saying that's a 3. Matt's going to need a closer look.
3.
So not popping through in the top part of that blade. So Nancy with an early 1-point lead going into the 4th throw.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, just like that, Nancy Kramer turns the deficit into a
Okay, here
one-point
we go.
advantage
Throw 4. Nancy up 1.
after the first 3 throws.
And she just has to find that consistent release point. She had a really nice throw last throw.
Holy
Being adventurous, going for that outside bullseye. I'm hoping that's what she was doing. But it looks like that's a bullseye there for
6-3.
Eric the Scope, popping through the right-hand side of that blade.
Nancy Kramer, if she was going for the bullseye, which
All right,
we
this is
assume
throw
she
number
was, she
5.
didn't
Eric
miss
is
by
up
much.
2,
So
18, 16.
fun to see Nancy getting a little aggressive here, keeping her foot on the gas and being the aggressor.
We talked about it when we were looking at the league standings. A lot of these competitors are starting to be adventurous, going for those outside bullseyes, going for those kill shots, and I think that's what
3, 4.
Nancy Kramer's doing here. So Eric able to get another point, though, on her
All right, at the
19-22
turn.
going
Eric is up
into
3,
the turn.
22-19. Yes, you can.
Yeah, so you see Nancy getting clarification there.
sense.
Once they
Throw number
change
6.
sides, she can go for that middle bullseye again. And then for Eric the Scope, he's been a little more erratic than the match that we saw with Justin Smith here.
4-3.
So a 4-point advantage now for Eric the Scope with 4 throws to
Throw
go.
number 7. Eric up
And those
4.
3 threes for Nancy, she's really got to focus up and try to find that 4, 5, and 6 ring because with the way Eric's throwing, she has a chance to get some serious points on him and come out the victor here. It looks like that could be a 5 if it's popping
Please.
through on the bottom part of the blade, and Nancy very close to a bullseye there.
5-2.
But unfortunately for her, it's a 2. As you saw there from the action cam, Joey, the blade looked like it could be popping through on the bottom part of
All
that
right, this is throw number
axe
8.
there
Eric is
for
up 7.
Nancy to get a bullseye, but unfortunately for her, caught too much of the 2 ring.
And just like that, Eric the Scope has a commanding 7-point advantage.
4-5.
Nice throw there. Nice response there by Nancy, able to get a point. Now down 6. Does she dare
All right,
get
throw
aggressive
number
and go for a
9.
kill
Eric is
shot,
up
Joey?
6, 35,
I'd love to see it, and
29.
Eric
Up
the
on
Scope
left.
is going up, so if you're Nancy Kramer, why not?
Well, I think she's going to be staying down. I didn't see a call from her. Maybe she's thinking about it here. But for her, if she just plays the board and Eric misses, she's got to make her throws. There's a 4 there for her.
Yeah, this one will be awfully close if Eric the Scope misses, and he does.
Miss.
So
4.
that should make it a 2-point game. It's 35-33 Eric the Scope heading into the final
Okay, here
throw.
we are at throw
Well, I
number
think
10.
the Scope
Eric is
just
up
called
2,
for another kill shot,
35-33.
so
Kill
he's
shot on
hoping
the
he's going to
left.
hit this. Otherwise, Nancy Kramer, if she can get the board or the blade to stick in the board, is going to come out the victor here. And she does with a nice resound. You can see the fist pump there.
So the Scope has to hit this to get the win.
Oh, and he is off the
6.
mark. So Nancy sticking to the middle of the board with a huge bullseye there. Comes out the victor.
A great finish for Nancy Kramer.
Nancy takes that
She
one,
gets the win over Eric Shizzle,
39-35.
39-35.
Yeah, so Nancy with an impressive, resilient victory here to improve her record to 3-6. As you see, she had only 2 bullseyes there on her scorecard, but the last one came when it mattered most. She needed just to get that axe to stick in the board, put some positive points on the board, and she did exactly that. A really nice ending to her game. Hopefully, something that she can continue to carry over to other matches tonight. And then for Eric the Scope, it was a little more of an erratic match here for him versus the one we saw versus Justin Smith. He had only 1 bullseye there on the card, a little too many 4s, I bet, for his liking. But then, of course, he was very aggressive going for that kill shot on the 9th and 10th throw. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to hit either one of them, so his record will fall to 2-8. But we know he's a very dangerous competitor.
4 matches down, 4 more still to come here in week number 3. We'll bring them to you straight ahead. Stay tuned for more Battle Axe here on MC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe here at the Bustin' Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque. I'm Joey Danya alongside Bobby Bradford. It's week number 3 of a 7-week regular season, and it all leads up to a double elimination postseason tournament where we will crown a Battle Axe champion.
Absolutely. We're going to be crowning a champion, and from the looks of this competition, Joey, we might have a new champion coming out of this league, but that's yet to be determined. We're only in week 3, so it's a ways away.
Next up, we've got Leroy the Lumberjack Kedley. He'll be taking on Eric the Scope Shizzle. Couple losses already for the Scope here today. He'll try to rebound and get a win here over Leroy Kedley, who comes into this one with a 7-1 record.
Yeah, we're talking about the people that want to take home the championship and be a first-time champion. Leroy Kedley is definitely one of those competitors currently sitting in second place here with an impressive record of 7-1. And he is a competitor, Joey, we haven't really seen get adventurous with those outside bullseyes. We know that he's said he wants to, but we haven't really seen it being implemented in matches so far. After that bullseye there on his first throw, we'll see if his tune has changed. And it looks like he's just going to be playing that middle of the board, no-nonsense throw. And it looks like a couple 4s there for Eric and Leroy.
Well, it's still early enough in the season. It's week number 3, where if Kedley wants to start getting adventurous and working on those outside bullseyes, he's got plenty of time still to do that.
Exactly. It's just like we were talking about with Justin Smith. You know, come tournament time, we know there's going to be competitors like Matt, the Magic Man Bradshaw, Eric the Scope, Beth Jen, that are going to be going for those outside bullseyes. Joe Kedley, Leroy's wife, is another one that's started to get adventurous and going for those outside bullseyes. So he's got a nice record of 7-1 and a great throw. We just want to see that progression of a thrower start to move out and put up some even more impressive scores. Axe getting away from him a little bit there. He's going to be lucky if that's a 4. And it looks like that's a 5 there for Eric the Scope.
Gina Feenstra going to get another look at this one here. See if it is indeed a 4.
Yeah, it's so tough to see, but
I think it's a 3, but come look.
she's initially ruling it a 3. Let's see if Leroy wants to get a second opinion here. As you can see, Joe, I don't think that bottom of the blade's popping through.
Yeah, it looks like he just missed the 4.
Well, I know.
So it's going to be a 3. Leroy looks frustrated, and rightfully so. We're going to get one more set of eyes on this one. Beth Jen coming in to get another look.
Well, if you're Leroy in this position, it doesn't hurt to ask for a second. You know, worst case scenario, it's still a 3. Best case, you can maybe sneak a point in because someone else sees something different, but Beth Jen confirms it. It is a 3, so we are all tied up going into the 5th
Tied
throw.
up at 18, throw number 5.
Eric the Scope still looking for his first bullseye of the match. We'll see if he can get it right here.
Yeah, the carryover from Nancy's matchup, Eric's only got 1 bullseye in his last 15 throws, so versus what we saw versus Justin Smith, he's definitely a little off right now. But it looks like that's a nice, going to be a 5 there for Leroy.
Oh, good point. Well, that makes life easier.
But it looks like a 4 there for Eric the
5
Scope.
and 4.
Say Leroy trying to
Forgot.
goat,
All
Jen,
right, 22, 23.
goat Gina into
Leroy
giving
is
him a
up by
6, but
1.
unfortunately
Switch
for him, that's going to be a
sides.
5. But transferring to the other side now, if he hits that same shot, it will be a 6.
So a 1-point advantage heading into the second half here for Leroy Kedley.
Looks like that's a 5 there for Leroy, and possibly a 5 there if it's popping through the top part of that blade there for Eric the Scope. Ooh, and I take that back, Joey. It looks like that could be a 4. And it is confirmed a 4 there for Leroy.
Did you sneak in
Very
there?
close throw here for Eric the Scope.
That's 5.
So the scope gets a 5, and we are all tied up 27-27, 4 throws to go.
Tied at 27.
Yeah, so Eric was able to sneak in and get that 5 there at the top part of the blade popping through. Still no bullseyes there for Eric the Scope.
And Leroy Kedley looking for a bullseye in the center of the board. That's still available to him.
Yeah, it looks like that. Oh, that's a clear 4 there for Leroy. And Eric, he's going to hope that's a 4 because if it's not popping through in the top part of that blade,
4
that
and a
is going to
3.
be a 3.
If I'm wrong, tell me.
So Leroy Kedley back in front now after a 3 from Eric the Scope. 31-30,
number
3
8.
throws to go.
Well, you can see that throw over there from Eric. That wasn't even really close to one of the bullseyes there, so that was just him holding onto the axis a little too long. We'll see if he can make an adjustment, and there he's into at least the 5 ring, and Leroy with a nice bullseye there on his
Leroy's got a bull.
popping through on the
and
left-hand
Eric's got a
side.
bull.
Couple of bullseyes from Kedley and Shizzle.
Very
It's
nice.
a 1-point lead for Kedley. Interested to see if Shizzle is going to go for the
Throw
kill
number
shot here.
9.
Oh, I mean,
Leroy
he's
is
Eric
up
the
by
Scope for a
1.
reason. He just called for that kill shot.
And kill shot called
Leroy's
on
going to
the
be playing that middle of the board. And it looks like that could be a 4, possibly a 5. I know Leroy will be hoping that's a 5. And Eric hits that kill shot. What a great throw.
How about that? Talk about resiliency. It had
Yeah.
been a tough couple of matches here
Correct.
for Eric the Scope until that. And just like that, he's got a big lead now over Leroy Kedley.
Yeah, it's got to feel good. You can see Eric cracking a smile there. This is a big ruling here, too, because if that's a 5, it keeps
Yeah, it's touching. Just barely.
Leroy in the
5.
game, and it is a 5 there. So
So Kedley still
All right,
within
last
striking
throw.
distance. Interested to see if
Eric's
the
up by
scope goes
2,
for the kill shot
44-42.
again.
there it is.
Both
And he
are going
is.
up.
Wow.
All right.
And Leroy calls for the kill shot as well, Joey.
Well, what a way to finish this one. It's going to come down to a couple of kill shot attempts here from Kedley and Shizzle.
It's a huge throw, and he's off the mark, but I like being adventurous. I like that, Joey. And Eric looks like he hit it for a second consecutive bullseye. I think he knows he got it. Gina will get a closer look, but I don't think
Hit and a miss.
Leroy made that kill shot.
Well, sometimes it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And what a finish here for Eric the Scope. Back-to-back kill shots to get the win over Leroy Kedley.
Well, we saw it with Eric in his match with Nancy Kramer. You know, Nancy had those nice 3 throws on their final 3 throws to really come away with the victor in that matchup. And in this one, Eric did the same thing. So a nice bullseye there, his first of and only on the scorecard, but a couple nice kill shots. Have to feel good taking those into the remaining games throughout this week and then obviously the rest of the season as well. So Eric with a nice score of 52. He improves his record to 3-8. And then for Leroy, you know, he's just staying consistently in the middle of that board and doing a really good job with that. I'd love seeing him, though, get really adventurous and go for that kill shot there on the 10th throw. It's one of those high-pressure throws that you can't practice, Joey. You can only experience. So he did a great job. He falls to 7-2, but still got some great games in him.
Next up, we've got Gina Feenstra taking on Jill Kedley.
So Jill coming in at 5-4, Gina at 1-7. Gina just working on that consistent release point. Eliminating drops from her game is huge. And then for Jill,
right, looks
she's
like
just
there's
doing
a
a great
5
job
and a
of starting to move
4.
around those outer bullseyes. Being adventurous, going for that kill shot.
Throw number 2.
She's another competitor that wants to take home that championship cup.
So Jill Kedley out to the early lead, 5-4 over Gina Feenstra.
Looks like that could be a bullseye there for Jill Kedley if it's popping through in the bottom part of that blade.
We sure do.
Michelle Frummelt going to get a closer look, see if
Could be
that is a
bullseye
bullseye,
for Jill,
and
and
indeed
two.
it is. Great throw there from Jill Kedley.
are correct.
She's off to a really nice start. An 11-7 lead now over
number
Gina
3.
Feenstra.
Yeah, so initially ruled a 4 there for Gina, but she got a closer look and saw that there was a 3, so made the correction there. Looks like that's a better throw there for Gina. That looks like that's a nice bullseye popping through on the top part of the blade. And then Jill
We got a 4 and a bullseye.
with a 4, but being aggressive going for that outer bullseye.
Throw number 4.
Yeah, she didn't miss by
Jill, you
much
are up
either.
by 2.
So it's a 2-point lead now. Gina Feenstra able to pick up a couple of points after a nice bullseye.
Yeah, so Jill focusing up. Looks like Gina might have been going for those outer bullseyes as well. And off
right,
the
we've
mark is
got
Jill
2 and a
Kedley with a
4.
devastating 2.
There's that bottom.
She wants to get a closer look. Maybe it's popping through in the bottom part of that blade.
You are correct. That'll be a
And
3.
the correction is made, so that is a
4.
3 there for Jill Kedley.
Throw number 5.
Not a 6, but better than a 2.
Jill, you're up by
No
1.
doubt. It allows Jill Kedley to hang on to her lead, which is down to just 1.
Yeah, Gina doing a really nice job of coming back in this matchup, keeping it close. Looks like that's a 4 there for Gina and possibly a 4 there for Jill.
3 and a
With
4.
a 3 there for Jill Kedley. So back-to-back
At the
3s.
turn.
She gives up the lead.
are
It's all
tied,
tied,
21 to
21 going into the
21.
turn here, Joey.
Jill Kedley and Gina Feenstra switching sides and getting ready here for the second half of this one.
And for Jill, she just has to take a deep breath. You can see over there she's kind of regrouping a little bit. And then just focusing up and finding
that'll
that
be a
throw
4
that
and a
she had in the
4.
first match of the night.
Keeping it tied up. Throw number.
Still tied after
7.
6 throws, 25 all.
Yeah, so Gina doing a nice job. Stuck in the vortex a little bit, but as this match is playing out, it's working for her. And it looks like that's a bullseye there for
It looks
Jill
like a
Kedley and a 5
and
for
a
Gina
6.
Feenstra. Michelle's going to get a
Sure is.
confirmation look.
Nice throw in.
Didn't take her long to make sure that one was a bullseye. Second bullseye of the match for Jill Kedley.
Jill, that puts you up by
Yeah,
1.
so 31-30 going
8.
into the 8th throw. Something tells me Jill's going to be aggressive going for those outer bullseyes. We'll see if she can hit them, and if she can't, if Gina can capitalize.
All
And
right, a 5 and a
okay,
3.
that's exactly what just happened.
So Gina Feenstra back in front now, 35-34,
number
2
9.
throws to go.
35 to 34. Gina,
Yeah, so
you're
just
now
a
up
really
by
nice
1.
high-pressure throw there by Gina Feenstra, capitalizing on Jill's 3. For Jill, she wasn't that far off from that outer bullseye. And it looks like she was
All right,
venturing
got
back into
4
the
and a
middle of the board
4.
there. But Gina more than happy to trade
Final
points.
throw. Gina, you are still up by 1. 39 to 38.
So Gina Feenstra clinging to a 1-point lead with 1 throw to go.
Well, and as we said in Leroy and Eric's match, that you can't practice these kind of throws. So this is great, great test for both competitors. And Jill is off the mark.
All right,
And
we've
Gina
got a 4
keeps it on the board.
and a
And she's going to come
2.
away with a victor here, Joey.
That means
Gina
takes
Feenstra
this one,
getting the
43 to
win
40.
over Jill Kedley, 43-40, the final.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just a really resilient win there for Gina Feenstra. She improves her record to 2-7. As you can see, she had that bullseye there on her 3rd throw. Everything else was 4s and 5s, but hey, she'll take that. And for a nice score of 43. But I think, Joey, what really showed off in this matchup was Gina's resilience and then her ability to hit those high-pressure throws, something that she's definitely working on. And as we can see, there was no drops in this matchup for her, so definitely a lot of building blocks for her in this matchup. And then for Jill Kedley, she had that 2 bullseyes there on her 2nd and 7th throw. Just too many 3s on the board. She's being aggressive going for those outer bullseyes, and we know there's tons of risk and reward when it comes to that. But for her, a nice score of 40. She does fall to 5 and 5, but she's working on those outer bullseye throws, and definitely going to come in handy for her.
Still a couple more matches to go here in week number 3. We'll bring them to you straight ahead. Stay tuned for more Battle Axe here on MC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe, week number 3 of a 7-week regular season leading up to a double elimination postseason tournament to crown another Battle Axe champion. As always, we're here at the Bustin' Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque. I'm Joey Danya alongside Bobby Bradford. Still a couple matches to go here in week number 3. We'll bring them to you right now. It's Michelle Frummelt, and she will be taking on Justin Smith.
Yeah, so we saw Michelle earlier in
All right, lanes
win
are
over Jill
open.
Kedley, and we saw Justin Smith face Eric the Scope in our second matchup of the night. So Michelle coming in at 5 and 4, Justin at 6 and 3. And it looks like that's going to be a couple of 4s, possibly a 5 if it's popping through on the bottom part of the blade there
Where
for
is your blade?
Justin Smith.
4.
Ruled a 4 there initially by Gina,
3.
and a
Oh, no, 4. Yeah. Sorry.
couple
4 and 4.
4s there.
Yeah, Michelle Frummelt put up a round of 44 in her win earlier today over Jill Kedley. Meanwhile, Justin Smith put up a career-high round of 49 in his win over Eric the Scope Shizzle.
Yeah, Justin with that consistent throw in the middle of the board. Really nice job of putting up a personal best. We'll see how he fares in this matchup versus Michelle Frummelt. As it stands, though, I think that's another couple fours. Gina's going to get a closer look. But it looked like from the action cam, Joey, there was a couple fours there. So all tied up going into the third throw. But both competitors, Michelle has been focusing up on the middle of the board, but we've seen her at times get adventurous and go for that outside bullseye. And Axe getting away from her a little bit there. A little too early of a release point. A nice 5 there by Justin Smith.
3 and 5.
What's been really impressive to see for Michelle Frummelt is she has really eliminated those drops,
Correct.
which used to be problematic
Throw
for
number
her. But
4.
she's been really honed in and not had to make that something to worry about anymore.
Although she does have a drop in this match, you jinxed her. Okay, just for the record.
Oh.
Okay. But no, to your point, Joey, she's done a tremendous job of eliminating those drops from her game. We saw at times she's kind of had like a wobbly axe, is what we call. But the axe hitting much more flush into the board now. And a couple 5s there by Michelle and Justin. So Justin with a 2-point lead going into the
All
fifth
right, throw
throw.
number 5. Justin's up by 2.
There's another nice throw. That could be a bullseye if it's popping through the bottom part of the blade. Oh!
Drop.
And just as we were talking, I don't think we jinxed Justin. at all.
No, this is not my fault.
No, this is not your fault, but
All right,
rare
switch
drop from Justin.
sides.
And a 5 there for Michelle. So Justin caught a little bit of a break because that was very close to being a bullseye.
18-21. Michelle is up.
So Michelle Frummelt will take a 3-point lead into the second half here against Justin Smith.
There's a nice throw there by Michelle, but yeah, Justin, we haven't seen a lot of drops from him. Even as a new
Horrible.
thrower, we haven't seen him go through those drops that we see a lot of new throwers go through.
5.
So yeah, there's a 5 there for Michelle, 26-22. But there's still this game is still within reach. Ooh, there's that wobbly axe though that we were talking about from Michelle. And looks like a couple 4s.
Michelle's got a 4. Justin.
Gina Feenstra going to make sure that one is a 4. Indeed it is. So still a 4-point advantage here for Michelle Frummelt with just 3
Round number
throws to
8.
go.
Well, this is important for Michelle. She's playing with the lead.
26-30.
She's got to keep the pedal to the metal, keep putting some positive points on the board.
The 6 points still available for both Frummelt and Smith on the center bullseye. Smith didn't miss it by much, neither did Frummelt.
Well, and I can see there from Justin's throw, that's how his drop happened. Is the top part of that axe hit the board before the blade did. So he's kind of flirting with danger a little bit here, Joey.
I'm new to this scoring.
He does pick up a point to get within
All right,
3
throw
here
number
of
9,
Michelle Frummelt. So
31-34,
he's
Michelle's
within
up.
striking distance with 2 throws to go.
Oh, and Michelle leaves the door open. Looks like that could be a 4. And Justin with a great throw that looks like that could be a bullseye if it's popping through in the right-hand side of that blade. Jeannie's going to get a closer look here.
If it is, we will be all tied.
It's very close,
5.
but ruled initially a
If you want a
5.
second, let me know.
So we'll see if that holds up. It looks like Justin's going to not
All
ask
right,
for a
last
second.
Throw, 36-38. Michelle's
So
up
Michelle
by 2.
up by 2, 38-36 heading into this final throw.
There's a nice throw by Michelle. Looks like that could be a 5. And Justin with a nice throw as well.
5.
I don't think it's going to be enough, Joey.
Yeah.
So ruled a 6 there for Justin, but Michelle escapes with the victory, 43-42.
Yeah, what a great match here. Great finish for Michelle Frummelt and Justin Smith. These competitors looking poised to make a nice run come postseason time.
Yeah, there was a lot of high-pressure throws here in this matchup. Michelle did a really nice job of staying ahead of Justin, capitalizing on his mistake. Obviously, he had that drop on the 5th throw, but you still have to make your throws. She finished strong. She got stuck in the vortex a little bit, but she did have those 3 consecutive 5s on her 4th, 5th, and 6th throw. So a nice score, 43 there for Michelle to improve her record to 6-4. And then for Justin, as we said in the matchup, he hasn't had a lot of drops in his career, so I think that was an anomaly, but definitely wants to put up more bullseyes there than that one that he just had on that 10th throw. So he falls to 6-4, but we know he's got better throws in him.
We've still got one match to go here on this episode of Battle Axe. We'll bring it to you right now. Gina Feenstra will be taking on Leroy the Lumberjack Kedley.
Yeah, so we saw Leroy fall to Eric the Scope.
Throw number 1.
Went for that kill shot there on his 10th throw, was off the mark. And then for Gina, we saw her defeat Jill Kedley. So we'll see if
4-4.
Gina can complete the sweep of the Kedleys here.
Off to a 4-4 start here for Kedley and Feenstra.
Looks like that is a 4 there for Leroy, possibly a 5 if it's popping through in the top part of that blade.
4-4.
Ruled a couple of 4s there, Joey.
We are stuck in the vortex here between
Guess what?
Kedley
We're tied.
and
Throw
Feenstra.
3.
Yep, both looking to still play the middle of the board, try to get that first 6 off the table. Leroy close, it looks like a 5 though, and ooh, the axe getting away from
5-3.
Gina there. Lucky that was a 3 and not a 2.
So Leroy Kedley has the lead
number
now,
4, Leroy up
13-11 after 3 throws. Kedley put up a round of 42 earlier today, coming up short against Eric the Scope Shizzle. Went for a kill shot on the final throw there and came up short.
Right, but both competitors still kind of stuck in that vortex, so another couple
4-4.
4s. Let's see if they can get off the schneid and get a bullseye before the turn.
All right, this is throw number 5, Leroy up 2.
Kedley and Feenstra going for their first bullseye.
There.
Looks like Kedley might have it.
It looks like a nice flush bullseye there for Leroy and
6-4.
a 4 there for Gina.
So Leroy the Lumberjack
All right, at the
will
turn,
take a
Leroy is
4-point
up 4,
advantage into the second half here.
23-19. Throw number 6.
We'll see if the change of scenery helps Gina Feenstra out a little bit. Nice throw there by Leroy. Looks like a 5, and a nice throw there by Gina. Could be a 5 as well, popping through in the bottom part of that blade.
Matt the Magic Man checking to see if this one is a 5 for Kedley.
5-4.
It's a 4 for Kedley and a 5 for Feenstra. She needed that. That gets her back within 3.
Yeah, we're seeing Leroy get a closer look. We'll see if he wants to get a second.
That's 5 and
So
4.
Matt doing clarifying the scores there. And Leroy elects not to get a second opinion. It was a
All right,
huge throw
Leroy
there
is
by
up
Gina,
3.
though.
This is throw number 7.
When she needed it most, Gina Feenstra came through. We'll see if she can keep it going here and get a bullseye.
Nice throw there by Leroy. Bullseye, possibly a 5, but I think it is a
4,
bullseye, and
6.
Matt confirms that. So with the blink of an eye, Leroy has a couple of bullseyes there.
All right, this is
So
throw
Leroy
number 8.
Kedley
Leroy
heating
5.
up 2 bullseyes in his last 3 throws. He can no longer score 6 on the center bullseye the rest of this one.
Oh, there's Leroy going for the outer bullseye there. That's nice.
Nice to see. I mean, you've got a 5-point advantage.
4-3.
You've got a little bit of room to play with. Why not?
Throw number 9, Leroy up 4.
4-point game now.
36,
2 throws
32.
to go.
Well, and that's going back to the strategy of going for those outer bullseyes, Joey. I think a lot of it is game script determined. You know, so Leroy has the points to play with. You can see him going back to the middle of the bullseye there.
Looks like
But
3,
strategically,
5.
it gave him the opportunity to go for those outside bullseyes. And
All right,
unfortunately
this is
for
throw
Gina,
number
she
10,
threw a
Leroy up
3 there,
6,
so
41-35.
41-35.
Going up on the right.
And Leroy going up on the right-hand side. So again, got the points. Now
Well,
we
if
can't
Feenstra
miss.
can get a bullseye, we could have sudden death.
Oh, and that's going to be close.
That is a 6.
And it
and
ruled
a
a 6 there,
miss.
so a miss there for
Guess
Leroy.
what? We are tied.
Well, what a way to wrap
Here we
up
go.
week
Touch 'em
number
up.
3. We
Good luck.
are heading to sudden death. It'll come down to a kill shot.
Well, let's see if the kill shot attempts for Leroy will pay off. It looks pretty close. I don't know if he hit it or not. Gina off the mark. It looks like initially from that view there, Joey, that Leroy is going to come away the victor here.
No, it's too close to measure. So if you guys want to do it again.
And of course,
Matt the
Matt,
Magic Man
Leroy
having
takes
some
that
fun
one.
with Gina Feenstra and Leroy Kedley.
yeah, so Leroy is going to come out the victor here.
Leroy Kedley getting the win in sudden death over Gina Feenstra.
Yeah, Leroy Kedley left that door open there on the 10th throw, being aggressive, going for that kill shot, something that we always like to see him do. But for Gina Feenstra, another high-pressure throw that she was able to execute. She had that bullseye there in the 10th throw, the forced sudden death. Unfortunately for her, she was just off the mark a little bit on that kill shot, but I love those high-pressure throws, Joey. It gets the tournament energy going. For Leroy, we saw him start to venture out to those outside bullseyes, being aggressive, going for that kill shot, really wanted to put the dagger in because I think he really wants to take home that championship cup. He improves his record to 7-2, and Gina falls to 2-7, but those are some great throws by both competitors.
Well, that is going to do it for week number 3 on Battle Axe. But before we sign off, it's time now for our post-game wrap-up, Bobby.
Well, we've had some risers and fallers here, Joey, after week 3. So no surprise, Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw at top of the leaderboard at 12-0, averaging 57.8 points per match, followed by Leroy Kedley, and then Michelle Fremelt, Eric Schizzle, Ann Welp, Justin Smith, Jill Kedley, Beth Jen, Gina Feenstra, and Nancy Kramer round out the top 10. But as we can see here from this leaderboard, Joey, everyone is dangerously close in a lock and change week to week, so it should make for a great Week 8 championship.
That'll do it for this episode of Battle Axe. For Bobby the Blade and the entire MC22 crew, I'm Joey Danya. We'll see you next time here on Battle Axe.